Good evening. The Wednesday of Holy Week is traditionally known as Spy Wednesday. Not the heroic James Bond type of spy, but of a friend who was betrayed. This evening, as we come together to meet and spend time with Jesus, we think about his friendship with Judas. Judas, a disciple who sat at the table of Jesus' Passover meal. Judas, the disciple and friend who Jesus knew would betray him. Judas, who would become a spy within the disciples' camp. Judas, for 30 pieces of silver, sold out his friendship to Jesus with a kiss. This will be the final Passover to celebrate with Jesus and his disciples, one of the most sacred Jewish feasts, recalling their deliverance from slavery and their hope for the future. Not much is said about how Judas is feeling, but we know that Jesus was deeply distressed because he knew his disciples would abandon him at his moment of greatest need. And he knew that one of them would betray him. $30 pieces of silver. Was it really worth the betrayal of a friend? We read later in the Gospels that Judas, on hearing that Jesus was to be crucified, went and handed the money back. But it was too late. The deed had been done, his part had been played. God's mercy is everlasting and will now be revealed in the steadfast love of Jesus, even when he is surrounded by treachery. Jesus must face death, but through the power of his Father he would overcome death once again and celebrate with his disciples in the kingdom of heaven. A kiss, the sign of betrayal by Judas. Culturally, a kiss was a sign of love and loyalty. So why did Judas just not call out to him? Point him out? Why such a personal way of betrayal? I invite you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine with me that you were there. Picture the scene, the garden, the failing light, the disciples, the soldiers, the approaching noise of the high priests, the atmosphere. Can you feel how Judas must have been feeling? Can you place yourself looking into the eyes of Jesus as you reach out to kiss his cheek? What do you see in his eyes? Anger? Sadness? Resignation? Or imagine you are Jesus, waiting for the betrayal, watching, waiting, knowing, wanting to be wrong, wanting to know that Judas won't let you down, but knowing that it has to happen. Jesus, who loved Judas with a divine heart in a human heart. Judas, his friend, one of the disciples who'd witnessed the miracles, heard the teaching, had walked alongside Jesus, had eaten with Jesus, had prayed with Jesus. Watch. Let the scene unfold fully before you and stay as long as you need. Maybe you want to speak to Judas. What do you say to him? How does he react? Maybe you want to speak to one of the disciples, witness their anger, their distress, their confusion. After a while, leave the scene and go and find Jesus to speak with him. I tell him in my own words how I feel after seeing him betrayed by a friend. I think about how many times I also have betrayed Jesus by my choices, my deeds, my decisions. I talk with Jesus. I ask for forgiveness for the times that I have let him down, for the times I've let my family and friends down. And I receive healing for any hurts I might have. I sit and just spend time in his presence for as long as I can, and I absorb his unfailing love for me. When it's time to leave, I tell him I'll be back soon to sit with him again. And he smiles and says, "I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting any time. I love you, my child." And he says, "I'll be waiting any time. I love you, my child." Were you there when Judas betrayed Jesus? It caused me to tremble, but yes, I was there. Thank you, Lord, for letting me be there.